This time on episode 329 of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., we're going to discuss Iron Fist, Season 2, Episode 1, The Fury of Iron Fist, and Season 2, Episode 2, This City's Not for Burning.
I'm Stephen John Drew from the official GonnaGeek.com show, a weekly geek news podcast that is a part of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're checking out now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other awesome geeky shows at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
You have been granted clearance by Director Alfonso Mack Mackenzie. Stand by for a S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents granted clearance by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Director.
Now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Director SP.
And I'm Agent Michelle.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're a Marvel Comic Universe fan show. The show is recorded on Sunday, April 26, 2020, live from the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. studios and broadcast worldwide, definitely New York-wide, via www.geeks.live. Come and join our live chat as we record. Michelle, happy National Pretzel Day.
I love soft pretzels with just the right amount of salt and a good cheese sauce.
I actually had hot dogs with cheese. I didn't have pretzels with cheese, but I know what you're talking about. In fact, whenever I go to a University of Minnesota hockey game, that's one of the things that the family just forces me to get, was a pretzel, a nice warm pretzel with salt and cheese.
Oh, they're good. Even when they come in pretzel bites.
Oh, the little small ones?
Yeah. Annie's. Annie's is a good, I think that's the one with the good shop.
I haven't been to a mall with an Annie's in it forever. Is that still a company that is in existence?
Yes. Not only in a mall, but also in airports.
Oh, that reminds me. It is in the overpasses in Chicago. When you go through the tollways and the oases, there's Annie's in those.
See?
All right. I'll have to get one next time I'm going through Chicago. National Pretzel Day, by the way, began in 2003 when Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rennell declared April 26th National Pretzel Day to acknowledge the importance of pretzels to the state's history and economy. So basically, this is all just a commercial for Pennsylvania.
Hey, I'll accept it. It gave us pretzels. I even like regular pretzels.
Okay.
Even covered in chocolate. Have you had pretzels? Not like white chocolate, but like either milk chocolate. I prefer dark chocolate, so pretzels and dark chocolate, that's a good combination.
Around the holidays. Oh, yes. It's my favorite. Second favorite cookie, quote unquote cookie around Christmas. The other one is the one with the Hershey Kiss in the, I guess it's a sugar cookie drop. I can't wait for the holidays. It's going to be fun.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Let's get back to the show. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast on the ABC television show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming in just 1 month from now. The multiple Marvel small screen series like Iron Fist, and the Marvel Cinematic and comic book universes in general.
Because of fighting over shrimp.
If you'd like to talk to us about fighting over shrimp with chopsticks, you can catch us on our website, legendsofshield.com.
You can leave us a voicemail, 844-THE-BUS-1. That's 844-843-2871.
You'd like to leave us a message on our Facebook page about what kind of shrimp that you enjoy the best, you can catch us at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Podcast on Facebook.
You can find us on Twitter at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You can tell us all about your favorite Asian meat dish on our YouTube channel on comments at youtube.com/GonnaGeek.
You can tell your Amazon device to enable Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. skill.
And remember, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still a proud member of the GonnaGeek.com network because Steven hasn't fired us yet.
Yet is the key word.
I keep waiting for, and you know what? I think he actually has to listen to an episode and then he's like, oh no, you need to go. Anyway, there are only two of us, just Michelle and I. We're actually going to be opening up extra chairs for just fans that want to come on the show. We were set to have one today. Unfortunately, the fan had to cancel out. Maybe we'll have the individual on in a couple of weeks. But if you have a decent microphone and a way to record and some sort of visual medium, you can get in touch with me and we will schedule you for a future week that we're talking Iron Fist, or when we return to the Netflix stuff, maybe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We'll see. I tend to think we'll have a full complement during the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season. So we'll just see. If you're interested in that, let me know. Also, Agent Lauren is not with us tonight, and it's not due to any health reasons, Michelle, right?
It's her birthday.
Happy birthday, Lauren. I hope you're celebrating fine. In trueness, she has recorded with us before on her birthday, but it's been on the tail end of her birthday celebration. And I just said, take the day off, have fun, recoup with your best friend, Mary, and you will be back next week. So we're looking forward to seeing her back next week. Haley is still having technical issues with her computer system, and we're hoping to have her back by the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season. We'll see if that happens. I reached out to her today, and she still was not able to join us. So looking forward to having her back by the end of next month, which is May, for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. All right. I feel the need, especially since we said we're going to be doing Luke Cage for quite a bit before we got to the end of Jessica Jones. Last week, we mentioned that we were going to pivot to Iron Fist. The reason that we were pivoting to Iron Fist for the next few weeks is because we can get the whole series in before Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starts. So that's why we skipped over Luke Cage. We are going to be going back to Luke Cage after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or maybe in an off week for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We'll be going back and doing the entire season of Luke Cage. Right, Michelle?
Yes, I did the math. I called it. I did the math. It perfectly fit. Iron Fist is 10 episodes. There's 5 weeks. There's 5 Sundays between, now and when we are going to talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when it comes back. And I'm just like, it's just perfect. We can wrap it up. We don't have to wait to watch like the final 2 episodes 3 months from now. It's nice and pretty and complete. And Michelle likes it like that.
So that's why we're doing Iron Fist. In preparation for this, though, I needed a little bit of my twitch, my OCD met, and I binge watched season 2 of Luke Cage yesterday. I did all 13 episodes, started at 7 in the morning, ended at 10 at night. And it was the first time I ever did that with any series. Probably be the last, to be honest with you, intentionally. If I'm sick or whatever and just want to binge a series, I probably can do that. But even like Altered Carbon, I went through that in 2 days. I didn't go through that in 1 day. So I've never done a full series in 1 day, or a full season of a series in 1 day. Yesterday, I did that with Luke Cage. Kind of glad I did that, but I won't spoil anything. So this is the one time that SP has actually watched in advance of something. I want to state that I have not seen in advance of Iron Fist. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. So I get to be surprised for the next couple of weeks here.
Okay, cool.
I guess I'll say one last thing here. Having completed Jessica Jones last week, binge watching season 2 of Luke Cage yesterday, and then watching 2 episodes of Iron Fist, it's like double clutching in between series. Yes, it's all in the same Defenders universe, but each series has its own individual swagger, its own feel, its own music background, soundtrack, if you will. And it is not just a smooth, same show all the way through. It is a pause in between. You got to get your mindset in the right mind to go from series to series. Double shifting is about the best analogy that I can get.
Okay.
All right. So with that, I am going to start off on Iron Fist. Iron Fist Season 2 premiered on Netflix September 7th, 2018. We're under 2 years of this being out. This starts our final watch of all these series. Up till now, we've always, except for the Defenders, we've always had another series season of something coming out, but this will start our farewell tour of the Netflix Defenders series. This series was started off by the episode titled The Fury of Iron Fist. It was directed by David Dobkin, who has 25 directing credits starting in 1992. 3 episodes of Into the Badlands and 1 episode of Iron Fist. It was written by M. Raven Metzner, who has 40 writing credits starting in 2005, with 4 episodes of 6 Degrees, 5 episodes of Clue, 2 episodes of Falling Skies, 1 episode of Heroes Reborn, 8 episodes of Sleepy Hollow, and 2 episodes of Iron Fist. Michelle, you want to take the second episode?
Yes, This City's Not for Burning was directed by one of my favorites, Rachel Talalay. Has 62 directing credits starting in 1991, including the very underrated Tank Girl film. TV credits include 2 episodes of Touching Evil, 1 Boston Public, 4 Ally McBeal, 2 The Division, 1 Supernatural, 3 Dead Zone, 2 Haven, 1 Rain, 1 Legends of Tomorrow, 1 Sherlock, 7 episodes of Doctor Who, 1 Iron Fist, 2 Supergirl, 4 of The Flash, 1 American Gods, and 3 episodes of Riverdale. This episode was written by Jon Worley, who has 10 writing credits starting in 2008, including 2 episodes of Terriers, 1 Justified, 1 Reckless, 1 Allegiance, 1 Mad Dogs, and 4 SEAL Team. Iron Fist Season 2 has a new showrunner, Raven Metzner, and this is based on the Marvel comic by Roy Thomas and Gil Kane.
Michelle, let's go into the titles of the episodes as per the theme of the episode. The first title was The Fury of Iron Fist. What's that about?
Danny seems to have this mission of, I have to take care of New York City because no one else can. This is post Daredevil, post Defenders, where everyone right now thinks Daredevil is gone. He seems to forget that there's also Luke Cage and Jessica Jones just in the Netflix universe. There's also a whole bunch of other Marvel superheroes in New York because for some reason they all are in New York. But he's got like this, I don't know if he's getting drunk on the power, but he's getting he's getting more intense with using his Iron Fist.
He seems a little bit more centered, though. You got to admit, he's more calm. Even in his interactions with Colleen, he might be distracted, but he's incredibly kind and remembering what might be important to her along the way. I got to give him credit for that, whether it's the writers or him individually making the decisions. But the performance, nonetheless, is fantastic in that way. So he might be getting full of himself in terms of his power, but personally, he's not. Although they, I think, celebrate a little bit too early at the end of the second episode. So why don't we talk about that one?
The episode's called This City's Not for Burning. We learn because the hand is gone, there's a power vacuum. And when you have a power vacuum, you, of course, have the groups who were being kept at bay. They have this opportunity to fight for power. And in this case, we have the Golden Tigers and the Hatchets. They are basically conducting open gang war. And Danny is like, again, I'm the savior. I'm going to force them to have a meeting in order to form an allegiance, in order to form this truce so we don't burn down the city.
Or at least their portion of the city. From the docks to wherever it's going. We get a revisit of Mr. Yang, who we saw in the Defenders as a part of the triad that was working with Iron Fist in getting rid of the hand. So we had that. And you only have 10 episodes. I was kind of disappointed that we only had 2 episodes of Mr. Yang. So R.I.P. Mr. Yang. He is no longer around. Now, was he the head of the Hatchet gang? I think it was Hatchet Gang, right? Or was it the Golden Tigers that he was the head of?
He's the head of the Tigers.
Oh, I thought it was Hatchet Gang. Anyway, so there's this feud between two of the triad, the Golden Tigers and the Hatchet Gang, and give him credit. He wanted to bury the hatchet, so to speak, and have a parlay at least in order to smooth things over so the city doesn't burn down. But then Davos comes in and just makes all sorts of mess with that. By the way, I didn't realize the first time around when we saw Davos that he was going to become the Master over on Doctor Who. And wonderful character for both of them, both Davos. I think he's a little bit impetulant with Davos here, but the Master over on Doctor Who, he's incredibly great at. And it's just good seeing him in the series. And yeah, I just wanted to say I did not know the first time around that he was going to become the Master. I think that's only within the last year or two. So it was after he filmed this for sure.
Oh, no, he's the leader of the Hatchets. I'm sorry.
I kind of figured it was Hatchets because
it's the Hatchets.
They all had hatchets around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's the leader of the Hatchets. So it's yeah. So now the Hatchets are leaderless.
I did want to say, you mentioned it, that this is post Defenders and post Matt Murdock. Jessica Jones, I think they referenced it in Jessica Jones, and I don't remember the Punisher at all. But in Jessica Jones, it definitely seemed like it wasn't that big of a deal. And it was more of a deal with the hand being gone here than it was in Jessica Jones. And I don't know if that's just a factor of when Jessica Jones was filmed, or if just Jessica Jones's world doesn't deal with that same sort of stuff that everybody else. It was kind of extraordinary for her to be involved in the Defenders, I guess, maybe.
It was. Remember, they really didn't know of each other, which I really didn't sort of believe. I believe Jessica not knowing some of it, but she knew Luke Cage. Anyway, the hand was always a Daredevil Iron Fist thing. And I guess if half of them know about the hand, and the hand is a big villain, go ahead and make it about the hand.
And I believe Matt Murdock was brought up in Jessica Jones and the fact that he was no longer there, especially when Foggy came around. You also get a mysterious heirloom, which really, that's the crux of the Colleen storyline. And before we talk about the Colleen storyline, let's talk about the characters, because quite frankly, I'm really having a difficult time in enjoying these characters. Danny, for one, just because he came across as such a putz before. He's grown as a character, and you really get to see that, so that's good. But everybody else, Joy would probably be the next person that I would care about, and I don't care about her at all. Is there any other character here that you care about other than Colleen?
Yeah, I care about Colleen. Davos. I wish Davos was being written better. I know the actor. I can't think of his name right now. In the last season of Doctor Who, if you haven't watched the last season of Doctor Who, I'm going to spoil it in 3, 2, 1. He plays the new version of the Master, and he did a very intriguing job with it. This guy can act a lot better than what he's being given. I really want to care for Davos. I really do. It's making it hard. This show is making it difficult for me. I actually put it as the parade of woe is I. That's the way these characters are, except for Colleen.
Out of the two Mitchums, I would want to go into Joy, but it's really her brother that has any semblance of likability here between the two of them. And there's no way that I can like him with everything going on. He treats his assistant badly. I mean, he apologizes and recognizes that he needs to do something different there, but he just goes ahead and snowballs her anyway in the conversation and then leaves it, and he thinks it's okay, but I don't know. And then the whole getting with your sponsor thing, I mean, that breaks about a gazillion different rules and regulations right there, doesn't it?
It does. When you go through any sort of anonymous program, it is strongly urged that you do not get into any sort of intense physical relationship because you are needing to make amends. You're working on yourself. You're getting to know yourself again. You're getting to know yourself in a new state without drugs, without alcohol. You need to find out who that sober person is, which is why you don't go around having meaningless sex or trying to do any sort of love thing. And finding out that's his sponsor, that is the most irresponsible sponsor I've ever seen. You don't do that. You just don't do that.
And we haven't seen their relationship develop. It's just bingo. All of a sudden it's there. I don't remember this in the first season. I don't think it's there. Yeah. So everything we've seen off season, we don't know how it came about, but it has come about. And okay, we're forced to deal with it now. Great. And very distasteful bit of my mouth. Plus, in his meeting with Joy, in addition to when Ward goes to Joy's party, it's just, Ward is not somebody that I want to think about. So it just really comes down to Colleen and maybe the kids off the street, right? So those might be the only characters that I am invested in, really, in this. I mean, you have to be kind of invested into Danny just because he's the central character. It's a show, but maybe it should have been about Colleen. Maybe it wouldn't have gotten canceled then.
I know. Colleen and Misty Knight. I can't wait for Misty Knight to return. I know she's going to return. It's not really a big spoiler. Yeah, we have Danny, who... There is a line from a song from Hamilton. It's the Schuyler Sisters, and it goes, "There's nothing rich folks love more than going downtown and slumming it with the poor. Danny Rand is taking a job from someone who actually needs it." Doing something like this, you see it whether it has to do with class or with race, where you put on this identity that is of a marginalized person, whether a person is poor, or you see it a lot with how Black culture is appropriated. Danny is in a safe space. He is a rich guy who can take off this mantle of poorness. And as Ward says, you have a corner office. Danny at any moment can leave Colleen's apartment, can leave that job, and go back to that corner office. And that irked me so much because Danny seemed to have already understood that profits were more important. It would be nice to actually see him because he made the company do that. He made the company to be more responsible. He wanted the profits to be a back seat. So I actually was expecting him to be the head of Rand and actually making his company do what he says. Instead, he's just doing whatever he wants. He signs the papers to Joy. Yes, he's being kind about it, but he's not even being responsible enough to read the whole thing. No matter how kind you are, you still need to read a contract before you sign it, because Joy could have put in a whole bunch of evil stuff in there. And if you just blindly sign it, you are blindly contributing to the evil. Have some responsibility, Danny. Come on.
I wonder if in their sinister plan that Davos and Joy thought that he would just sign it right away, or if they had some sort of way to negotiate through a board inquiry into everything of what was included in the divestment package or not. I'm not really familiar with divestment packages, to be honest with you. It's basically, according to the show, when you're able to leave the company with some of the company's assets and then be a competitor. So there's no non-complete clause, I guess. I don't know. But if that was the case, I would really be looking at what was in those quote unquote junk patents. And Ward is definitely looking into that, trying to figure out what exactly was lost and that something was not junk when it was transferred over. Joy was the person that was really running the company. And I don't want to skip over it. You're absolutely right. Danny had a responsibility to everybody working for the company in order to ensure that their jobs were still there. It's really important that we're talking about it right now in the middle of everything going on. But even in the context of this being filmed 2.5, 3 years ago, it was still, you're talking about a major corporation, Rand Corporation. It is responsible. So many people, you got to make sure that those people have jobs. And Danny just flippantly making billion-dollar decisions like he was without doing due diligence is irresponsible. He might be at peace with himself. He might be trying to make amends with Joy. He might be trying to do right, but things have progressed. It's not just their parents anymore. It's not just even them anymore at the beginning of last season. This is something that's combined, and Danny should have listened to Ward. Now, Ward was being a little bit exuberant during the meeting, and maybe he had every right to be, but Danny might have felt that he needed to be a stabilizing influence in the meeting. And he did affect Joy, but I don't think he affected whatever plans Joy and Davos eventually had, because they went right back to it.
And then Joy. Last season, she found out her father was alive. Yes, that's traumatic. But this whole revenge. Okay, her father was alive, then he died. Honey, your life is not ruined. You are some white woman who's rich. You could buy a yacht and be in the Caribbean sipping mimosas all day long. Your life isn't ashes. Know people whose life is just teetering on the edge because of corporate misconduct and capitalism is evil, blah, blah, blah. For her to be this, I need sympathy. My life is ashes, and I'm going to ruin Danny's life and Ward's life because they lied to me about my daddy. Your life's not ashes, honey. Just you can afford therapy. Get it. Buy yourself stupid purses or whatever. Just you're rich. Shut up.
It had to have been the most outlandish money bag I've ever seen in the second episode, with that big red purse.
Yes.
Had nothing to do with the Mitchums or Iron Fist or anything. It was the Triad. But yeah, that was kind of out. Well, it was the only big bag big enough that I had. Well, anybody can put their hand, if you're standing next to somebody in the subway or something, anybody can put their hand in there and take out a roll of hundreds or whatever that is. Not the safest plan to begin with. And I don't know if the person was in on what was about to happen or not. Anyway, so. All right. Davos has a fight with Danny back at Kunlun, and we get to see that. This is the final fight before Danny goes faces the dragon, which supposedly is a real dragon, but we don't know because we never actually see it.
Not yet.
We didn't see it last year. We didn't see it in the Defenders. We're not seeing it now. And you're right, not yet. Maybe not. I don't know. But they have a fight. It was supposed to be until one of them yielded or until one of them died. Neither happened. Davos's father stepped in and just said, Danny is the one who's going to face the dragon. Now, I don't know if it's kind of a test at that point or not. These were two undefeated champions, the only two left in Kunlun. So it just might have been a test to see who would not end the other, win but not end the other. I don't know. Davos was in a similar situation. It was really frustrating to me at the very end to really know why Davos's father went ahead and stopped the fight when it did.
And I actually thought about that again today. Davos does have a point. Davos almost had Danny, but Danny was able to remember where the sun location is, which is very smart, blocked it, and was able to move in a way where it blinded Davos for a bit, and he's able to get the upper hand of the fight again. I mean, he was hesitant to kill Davos, and Davos didn't have an opportunity to either really decide to yield or perhaps give himself a chance to figure out how to get the upper hand again. I can see where he is angry with his father for stepping in and just declaring Dany the winner.
But at the same time, he didn't necessarily need to go all out on Dany. Okay, he's frustrated with Dany that Kunlun no longer exists, and that was Davos's home. I get that. Dany countered with the fact that the purpose of the Iron Fist was to defeat the Hand. I did that. It just wasn't in Kunlun. I guess Dany or Davos was expecting both to happen, that Kunlun would be saved and then the Hand would be defeated that way. I guess, but that's not ground truth. Davos might be angry at Kunlun, but there was no expectation that Kunlun was going to continue to exist.
It's misplaced anger, which if you look out the window, we're seeing a lot of right now. And he keeps talking about his moral center, and how New York is corruptive and has no moral center. But by the end of the second episode, he doesn't have a moral center really anymore. Mr. Yang did the right thing by saying, here's all of your money back. I cannot guarantee delivery. I am trying to make peace with the Tigers. And here's Davos talking about, saving Kunlun and trying to do the right thing. And he actually says, well, I respect your honor, and then kills him. Which up until that moment, I was trying to really understand Davos, and I'm still trying to understand Davos. He was pressured to have sex because he wants the bowl, which I think we can figure out what the bowl was for. It's not a spoiler. Even I am figuring out what the bowl was for. Like I said, I really wish Davos was being written better, because Davos and Joy, they're just blank villains right now. I think what makes Fisk more interesting and Lex Luthor more interesting is because they think they're saving the world from a certain threat. And there are moments when you think they make sense. There's some moments where Davos makes sense up until when he kills Mr. Yang.
Like I said, I didn't understand that at all. And I guess the bowl, you're telling me the bowl, I didn't pick that up. The bowl is what is being delivered?
Okay, there's two separate things. There's a shipment of something. There's three things that's going on. Joy and Davos is having something shipped that needs to pass through customs. We don't know what that is yet. Joy gets these junk patents. There has to be something in there. And the third thing is that bowl that the lady has. Instead of just buying the bowl or like selling the bowl right there, we have to, Joy manipulates the whole thing and tapes them having sex so she can get the bowl. So there's three things going on, and that one is the bowl. So I got the whole coercion thing with the bowl.
I thought that you were inferring that the bowl was coming through customs. So that was kind of where I was getting a little bit confused. I didn't know what was coming through customs either. So I'm glad we're both on the same page here, that neither of us understand why it was so important to get this thing through customs for $2 million, turned into $4 million, but it's still not coming through the docks anyway. All right. Also, I mentioned her before. We have this mystery Mary. We have this Mary character who really is two different characters. You have the happy-go-lucky sketch artist, and then you have this almost sinister character who knows what the character was actually doing. Regardless, I don't know which Mary. One of the Marys is taking an awful lot of pictures of Dany. So there is some intense interest going on between Mary and Dany, and that's really all I picked up.
If you're a fan of the comic books, you know who it is.
This is where my weak comic book history is coming to fail me, because no, I don't know who Mary is. Okay, granted, I will be surprised then, because I'm not going to go out and find out who Mary is. Are you happy with how this Mary character is currently being portrayed, though?
I'm wondering if she intentionally set out to find Danny during that first interaction, which I think is what happened. And she's just able to, like, there's a lot of pictures. She might have already known where he is. If that one personality is manipulating, did surveillance on Danny and then is manipulating her way into his life, then it makes sense. Because otherwise, it's just some rando character. It can't be that way. I think the surveillance is going on. One of her personalities, I don't really like to call it that way.
Okay.
It seems to be like after Danny, and the other one is trying to protect Danny.
Oh. Okay. Well, I look forward to learning more about Mary. Also, you have the whole mystery heirloom for Colleen, and she's trying to find out more. And unfortunately, with the Triad War, it's making it very difficult for her to contact the one person that might know anything about it. But it has to do with her family. What is it called? It's not called a crest or a logo. What is its family emblem? I forget what it is. Family artistry. And she says that the box that showed up as a donation to her charity was in fact owned by her mother at some point in time. So she's really interested in where this came from, and she is trying to find out. And it's really the quest that I'm pretty sure is intertwined in everything else right now, but it's the quest that I'm most interested in. This has got mystery to it. It's got personal involvement for Colleen, and you've got big forces, titanic forces working against her. So it's really the thing that I'm pulling through for this whole thing. Is I really want Colleen to find out where that came from, perhaps connect again back with her family.
Colleen's always been about her community. I love that we got to see her fight in the kitchen. There are better fights this season. I like that one in the kitchen where it was just her. And then we see really her true self with that scene with the kids who are just trying to get by. They know no other life than what they're experiencing right now. And that's Colleen. Colleen really wants to just help those who have fallen between the cracks. And that's her heart. That's the show I'm watching.
Also, when Mary comes in, she says, "Oh, is this the dojo?" And she said, "Well, no, but it's a home now." And that kind of makes me sad because it was something that Colleen was really trying to affect the neighborhood with, and it's not there anymore. But at least she's involved in the charity. Volunteering, I believe, is the correct term. So she's volunteering with the charity. So at least she's doing something with the community there. And she's with Danny. So again, no need for money. Really, I think Danny's trying to live on his own. So basically, correct me if I'm wrong, they're living off of Danny's moving company salary.
I think he bought last season, the first season, he bought the property.
Yes, that's right. So he owns the building.
So basically they're living rent free. They just need to pay their utilities.
Okay.
And they're apparently getting the highest package for internet because of all the computer screens and all of the surveillance and such that he's doing. So they obviously, paying for that top tier internet package.
At the very end, when he does go back down in the subway and he is fighting the door, I didn't know if that was to try to recenter himself or if he needed to just knock around some frustrations or something like that. But it's looked to me like he was trying to hide it from Colleen.
Colleen mentioned that during one fight, he blew out the back of a wall.
Yeah.
She saw the destruction on television. She's bringing up, do you have to be so forceful? Can you show some restraint? And Danny's just like, well, I had to because I'm protecting the city. He said they didn't say, I said, please, they didn't listen.
And it was the same thing. But yeah, okay. Well, we'll see what all this comes. I have not seen the next 8 episodes, so it's going to be a fun 4 weeks of me watching and seeing the story unfold, and eventually probably saying goodbye to the Iron Fist character at the end. I don't know if Danny has any more cameos in other series that we're going to watch, like the 3rd season of Jessica Jones, 2nd season of Punisher, or the 3rd season of Daredevil, but I just don't see him coming around. Daredevil would be the closest I would see because of the linked stuff between the two characters there, but I don't know. I think this is going to be it. So 8 more episodes of Danny Rand. Is there anything else about the first 2 episodes of the 2nd season of Iron Fist that you would like to talk about?
No, I am happy with the better fighting. It wasn't as close and quick and clumsy as it was first season.
All right. So I think what we need to do now is write ourselves some Post-it notes, paste them all over the place, and then get on out of here. Thanks, everybody who is listening and watching us discuss Iron Fist Season 2 on our way to the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who interacts with us on Discord or Twitter. We really appreciate the contact. And thank you for listening to this, which ended up being apparently a therapy session that I needed for these first 2 episodes.
And again, as a reminder, if you would like to discuss any of the Netflix series that we have left, please get in touch with me and we'll see about hooking you up. Or if you have anything to say about the upcoming Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season, any trailers that you see, any news, any spoilers, that I think we would like to remain spoiler free for the most part on the podcast. But if you'd like to talk to us, get in touch with us. We have the Discord at GonnaGeek.com/Discord or our Twitter account at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Probably the best 2 places to get in touch with us. So until next time, where we discuss Iron Fist Season 2, Episode 3, This Deadly Secret, and Season 2, Episode 4, Target, Iron Fist, I am Director SP.
And I'm Agent Michelle.
See everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to GonnaGeek.com and you will find all our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com, where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod, found at incompetech.com, and also artists on pond5.com and audiojungle.net. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual hosts and do not represent Stargate Pioneer Productions, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation, Marvel Studios, and ABC. No infringement is intended. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is copyright 2013 through 2020.